Imagine witnessing someone in distress only to have their suffering met with misunderstanding or even violence. This shocking scenario recently played out on a flight, where a passenger experiencing a panic attack was slapped by a fellow traveler. This incident highlights a glaring gap in our collective understanding of mental health and the urgent need for widespread education on how to respond to such situations. But here's the part most people miss. Knowing how to recognize and assist someone during a panic attack can be as crucial as, but how do you differentiate between everyday anxiety and a full-blown panic attack? And this is where it gets controversial. While many use the term anxiety attack, clinicians do not recognize it as a medical term. According to the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, DSM, anxiety is an emotion, a prolonged state of worry, whereas a panic attack is a sudden, intense episode of fear. What does anxiety look like? Shivani Tripathi, a licensed clinical psychologist, explains, anxiety is often a natural response to fear or uncertainty. It can manifest as restlessness, difficulty concentrating, and physical discomfort. Signs may include fidgeting, withdrawing from crowds, or becoming unusually irritable or quiet. These behaviors vary widely, making them easy to overlook. What does a panic attack look like? Contrary to the light-hearted memes on social media, panic attacks are no laughing matter. They are intense, sudden episodes of fear or discomfort that peak within minutes. Symptoms often include shortness of breath, sweating, nausea, and chest pain. At their worst, they can mimic life-threatening conditions like heart attacks, making it crucial to respond appropriately. But here's a thought-provoking question. How would you react if you saw someone in this state? Would you know how to help, or might you inadvertently make things worse? How to help someone through a panic attack. Mental health first aid guidelines emphasize the importance of staying calm and reassuring the person that they are safe. Tripathi advises, move them to a quiet place, guide their breathing, and avoid phrases like calm down, which can feel dismissive. Instead, encourage slow, steady breaths and reassure them that the overwhelming feelings will pass. Controversially, some suggest that exhaling into a paper bag can help, though this is debated among experts. What not to do. Avoid crowding the person, filming them, or touching them without permission. In today's digital age, the urge to document everything can lead to further distress. Remember, the goal is to de-escalate, not amplify the situation. The case for mental health first aid. Just as CPR training is widespread, mental health first aid should be equally prioritized. Schools, workplaces, and public-facing individuals must be equipped to recognize symptoms, offer reassurance, and seek help when needed. This not only fosters awareness, but also prevents harm caused by ignorance. But here's a counterpoint to consider. Is it fair to place the responsibility solely on individuals, or should systemic changes be implemented to ensure widespread education? Final thoughts. The incident on the flight serves as a stark reminder of how far we still have to go in understanding and addressing mental health. By learning to recognize and respond to panic attacks, we can create a more compassionate and informed society. But what do you think? Are we doing enough to address mental health crises, or is there more we could and should be doing? Share your thoughts in the comments below.